Hello, welcome to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. We're here to talk about Superman and Lois once more. I've done my episode 2 review. Leave a link above. It was good again. It was amazing. I had a really good time with it. But we are here to talk about the writer, the former writer, in fact, because she was fired from the show. In my earlier review, I did find it funny because her name is still as a producer credit, right? Nadria Tucker, which we'll go on, into in a minute, because looking at the stuff that she has tweeted about this show, right, you would think you would ask for your name to be removed, wouldn't you? You would, wouldn't you? If you had any semblance of, sort of credibility, or self-belief, self-worth, you're believing anything that you actually do say, you'd have your name removed. But she hasn't. So let's dive into it, shall we? Now, Nadria Tucker was fired for numerous reasons. Basically just fighting tooth and nail to add lots and lots of just representation that maybe wasn't supposed to be in there, doesn't fit the narrative. I don't know. Who knows? But let's have a look and we'll see. Now, she actually worked on every episode of the first season, right? That's what she reveals. But what is so revealing here is how this is probably going to end up being potentially her best work, right? In terms of the work that is widely accepted as good work, but she still hates it. So do these people, do they actually want to produce good stuff now? Or do they just want like agenda-filled sort of stuff that they just want to push out and that's it? That's their life work, isn't it? It's being an activist rather than, a writer or an actor. They just want to do activism. It's just nonsense. Now, this article is linked down below, so please do check it out. Last November, a number of entertainment news outlets reported that writer Nadria Tucker had been let go from the Superman and Lois writers' room during the production of the show's first season. But did the firing of the now former Superman and Lois writer actually have that large of an effect on the show's writing? Not really, as Tucker has now revealed that she actually finished out the first season of the show. But she hates it. This is what I mean. I don't get it. Right, so when it started, Tucker's dismissal from the writers' room was announced last year amidst the still ongoing coronavirus pandemic. She tweeted out this. Some personal news. Wednesday, I got word that my contract on Superman and Lois won't be extended. My services no longer needed. My outline and draft subpar. Obviously, I disagree with that last bit. This after months of me flagging Me Too jokes in dialogue. Because you can't have jokes. Guys, you can't have jokes. Yeah, whatever, I guess. Of me defending the Bechdel test, of me fighting to ensure the only black faces on screen aren't villains, of me pitching stories for female characters, there's one in the title of the series, that went ignored. If I sound bitter, it's because this one stings. Now, Lex Luthor in the show is black, right? But they're not painting him out as an actual villain. They are, but they're not. They're painting him out as a very sympathetic villain, someone with great depth. Someone that I look at and I go, I actually want to know more about this guy now. I don't see what the problem is with that. So what if he's black? It's a good character thus far. I want to know more. What's the big deal? That's a problem for you? Really? Why? I've been assured by colleagues that I was great in the room, so I know I'm not nuts. I debated whether to post this, but my own mental well-being demands that I do, because you want applause from everyone that follows you. Anyway, so much of what she said didn't really catch a ton of momentum, as many had already written off the show based on the Superman's depictions in both the second season of Supergirl and Crisis on Infinite Earths crossover, and the already staggering amount of criticisms levelled against the writing for CW shows as a whole. That's what I thought. And then I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks weirdly good, what's going on? And then everyone seems to like it. Everyone who watches the show actually likes it. So yeah, in spite of her absence, Superman and Lois premiered on the CW to glowing reviews from a wide range of audiences, including normies, and a number of critics who had been disappointed with much of the network's recent superhero-related output. I hate Batwoman. I watch it and I hate it. It's crap. The first episode premiered to strong viewership numbers, and word of mouth seems to only be helping it in as more audiences turn in to view it on the CW website. The aesthetics of Hoagland's suit, the cinematic feel of the show, and what looks to be a sizable budget put out for the action scenes really put a strong foot forward. It's actually good. It is actually a good show. However, prior to the series premiere, Tucker took to Twitter to remind her audience that she had worked on all 15, not just 13 episodes, adding that the writer's room notes show that. With the premiere of Superman and Lois right around the corner, I'd like to remind everyone that I worked on all 15 episodes, and the writer's room notes show that. Okay. Cool, I guess. But then she does this. It's premiere day for the most recent project I work on, and I'd love to be excited. But nah. Okay. Not excited, just pissed. Okay. And anyway, amidst the audience excitement, Tucker shared her thoughts on the series pilot episode, live tweeting the premiere throughout its airing. Why can't these people just be happy? We had lots of discussions in the early days about mental illness and how to depict it in the show. We talked about race too, we talked about gender and sexuality. We pitched so much blue sky stuff, all ideas generated by what was there in this pilot. Those early days were fun. We were actually meeting in person back then before the pandemic. I had a plan at my office. The sky was the limit. But then reality started to set in. Casting wasn't diverse. Lois wasn't getting much story. So I raised these issues. This is part of the job. I can't say I felt heard. Todd Helbing told me we'd have to ship black people in because there aren't many in Canada. Lois journalism stories were frequently deemed boring because they lacked superpowers, I guess. Oh, no, my DVR has almost caught up to reality. Anyway, the pilot hasn't changed much since the last time I read it. I'm sure the rest of the series will be more of the same. As if disparaging it? Okay. Anyway. To clarify, I wasn't the only person of colour or femme writer on Superman and Lois. Whatever amount of representation you do see on screen are hard-fought wins from some very, very talented people, despite everything else. Okay. And so then in a response to someone tweeting, actually, when an individual makes public accusations, she, sure enough, does owe that very same public receipt. Although there are some who will blindly believe follow without any evidence proof, maybe that's what Miss Nadria, similar to Ray Fisher, is counting on. HR saw my receipts, the JL investigation saw my receipts, they've already chosen how to respond. Now I'm responding to their lack of response. I owe this hell site nothing. Okay. So, again, just kind of doubling down on all this action here, saying, oh, there was loads of other people, and, you know, we have to really fight for representation. In small town Kansas, there's not going to be much representation there anyway. I'm sorry. What are you expecting in Kansas? That the whole show is set in a place where there's not going to be a whole lot of representation specifically. Like, I'm not great with my American geography, but I hazard, I guess I'm in the ballpark there. Anyway, suddenly taking notice of her mention, blah blah blah. Then Ray Fisher chimed in. Of course, why wouldn't she? Why wouldn't he? Sorry, I mean, well, he's basically a bitch, so I guess I could call him a she. So anyway, everyone loves it. Everyone absolutely loves it. So along with any of that positivity associated with the first episode being flushed away, there is also a danger for any possible second season to fall into the CW rut. The same issue Arrow had in its later seasons and Flash had after its first season. The issue now is that everything that is favourable about the show seems to be working against the current agenda and narrative of Hollywood, not to mention the current zeitgeist of gender racial politics. Yeah. But then also is the fact that she literally says, well, it's more of the same. Good. Good. We want it to be more of the same. The pilot was great. What we have now is a show that's being allowed to create and tell a good story, but on the horizon is the threat of the mob, ever bogging creatives down with the requirements of a culture looking to insert their own preferences about what's what into any given piece of media. Add to that the normal modus operandi of the CW, and the odds are already worryingly stacked against Superman and Lois. Yeah, I'd agree with that. But I think it's going to be good for a little while, and I'm going to enjoy it for a little while. But I guess the main point of this video is that this woman hates this show. Right? She hates it. You can see it. She doesn't like it. You know, it's going to be more of the same. Blah, 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 blah. You know, it's premiere day. I'm not excited. Nah. I'm just pissed. All this kind of stuff. It's like, love, if you really cared about this stuff, right? If you really cared about it, you'd ask for your name to be taken off. but you've literally got a credit saying you show up in the opening credits. I spotted it today. It's in my review earlier, saying I was going to look into it. Take your name off it if you hate it that much. If it annoys you that much, take your name off it. Oh, but you won't, will you? Of course not. Whatever. Let me know your thoughts, though, down below in the comment section. Also, guys, we've got Clown World, because this is a Clown World. We've got Clown World merch underneath every single video. You can grab your mugs, hoodies, tees. It's a very cool design. Check it out. Anyway, thanks so much for watching, though, guys. Take care.